I'm the killer. Bring it back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Guys We Fcked.
It's the Anti-Slut-Shaming Podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show. If you want to email us, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Our subject line for today is unknowingly the other woman. Longtime listener, first time writing in. I consistently listen to the podcast, but if you could email me back and let me know which episode this is on, I would greatly appreciate it. We're your secretary now. What an ass. When I was single, I was on dating apps because it was an easy way to meet a wide variety of people. For work, I'm a CPA accountant, and I was not interested in dating/meeting someone in the same field as me.
Snooze fest.
Outside of work, I'm very creative and adventurous. Damn, shade, throwing shade at all the other CPAs. I wanted a partner with similar interests who had more of a traditional male background, such as being able to fix a car and home improvement type things.
Yes.
In April of 2021, I met my current partner on Tinder. We had a coffee date planned for a Saturday morning, but I randomly asked if he wanted to go get hot dogs at a drive-in because I was planning on going and wouldn't mind having company rather than texting. We live in Chicago. I mean, that's hilarious to be like, first date, we might kiss, let's eat hot dogs. I can't think of a worse thing to eat.
Bold move, my friend.
Bold move. We had a great time and went out for our coffee date as planned. We discussed our situations, and he had recently gotten out of a relationship not too long ago. I had been single for roughly a year and a half. I had gone through a divorce and had not dated anyone since. I had gone on dates and did hook up with people, but hadn't had a relationship since the divorce.
Okay.
Over the next several months, we would hang out at each other's places, meet up for drinks, have great conversations, and go do things roughly once to twice a month. In August of 2021, we hooked up for the first time, and after it happened, it appeared he was ghosting me. I was upset, but figured this is just what happens. In October of 2021, he texted me randomly to hang out, and we did. Since then, we have been in a relationship and now have a beautiful daughter together. Recently, I learned that when I met my partner and when we were hanging out, he was in a relationship through social media, Facebook, which I don't frequently use. He tells me they had broken up and at some point started hanging out again around the same time I first met him. He claims they weren't in a relationship, but they were going on trips, dates, spending the holidays together, showing up for each other, and hanging out with friends and family. They might not have been headed towards marriage, but they were definitely in a relationship. Yeah. I did not know he was in a relationship, and he had never mentioned this to me. Having met him on Tinder, I figured he probably had things with other people as well, but not a full-on relationship. He said he was unhappy in the relationship. They're always saying that. And since we were hanging out as friends and had done nothing physical, he doesn't see anything wrong. Apparently, she broke up with him again in September of 2021 after they had attended a wedding together. He subsequently reached back out to me in October of 2021. Since learning about this, we have had several conversations, and I have expressed how this makes me feel. Other than two of my closest friends, no one knows about this. Throughout the course of the relationship, we have both discussed and harped on the importance of communication and honesty. As a result, my view and opinion of him has changed. I've been open and honest about things which he has gotten mad at me about, which now seems like gaslighting, projecting. Ultimately, I feel very naive in my ability to judge someone's character and just have to accept this. I'd like to get your opinions on this and propose the following questions.
Love how organized you are.
One, well, organized, but this email is a little confusing to me still. One, is this worth me being upset about? Are my feelings valid, or am I thinking too much about this? I love the idea of asking other people if your feelings are valid. Woof, that's complex. Two, other than talking about this to my partner and expressing how I feel, is there something else I should have done? Three, is there anything about this that could be an issue going forward in our relationship, which I may not be aware of? Also, you can never know.
That could always happen.
Yeah, there's always going to be an issue that you're not aware of. Four, do you have general advice for people when meeting someone through a dating app?
Just buckle up.
Yeah.
That's the advice.
It's a nightmare.
But it seems like there was just gray area. When you start dating somebody, but you're not official yet, and you feel like you're about to be official, so you're like, I gotta go fuck all those guys that I want to fuck before we get into this thing. He did that, but with his ex, and they were kind of dabbling in perhaps maybe dating again. I don't think it's a huge breach in I don't think he fucked up that bad. They just didn't work out, and he was like, He was probably doing the thing, which honestly, I would have done if I were him too. Hey, I don't know if this thing with my ex is going to go back on, but let me cover my bases and start dating people on Tinder because, and especially men, they don't want to be alone. Men don't like being lonely. So maybe he was just didn't want an overlap where he wasn't seeing anybody.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think he did anything wrong.
This would have been more an issue if he like started dating you, but then went back to the ex and never communicated that was on the table. I think that would have been more of an issue.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like he, you hung out. It took forever for you guys to even hook up. I mean, the only issue I see, and it's like, it seems like you didn't even really communicate this to him, is that period where like you first hooked up and then you go, then it felt like he ghosted you, but then the next time he reached out to you, you immediately responded and did the thing. But that's on you. Yeah. Why the fuck didn't you not, why didn't you say, where were you? Yeah. Like,
you know who wouldn't ghost you? AI boyfriend.
Yeah. And I also think it's like, okay, like people will do what you allow them to do. So yes, women complain a lot about being ghosted, but like,
don't reward the behavior by continuing to
don't reward it. And also you can ask someone, where are you? If someone doesn't text you, you don't just have to sit there and be like, I guess I got ghosted.
Yeah.
If it's bothering you, say, hey, why haven't I heard from you?
Right. I think
go.
There's this thing, you strike me as somebody who kind of resents your own needs in a way, because I feel like what's at play when you ask a question like, are my feelings valid, is probably like, do I have the right to feel this way? But it's the reality is you're feeling this way. And then what you have to check though is not if your feelings are valid, but like check with yourself on as to where are they coming from? Are they coming from this person's actions? Are they coming from something else? So you're like, that's what you have to do the investigating on. But yeah, I don't think.
And also, I don't think just the fact that, like you say in this last paragraph, we've talked about communication and honesty, and then you say that you've been open about things and he's gotten mad at you. Okay, like
about what? I thought you were going to list them.
She hasn't specified, but like, yeah, like, he's allowed to get mad at you. I don't think that's gaslight. I think gaslighting is like narcissism. We're just using it in times when it's inappropriate, and then it's confusing for when you actually need to use it.
And it just waters it down.
Yeah. And okay. And so apparently she broke up with him again at September 2021. Okay. And also like, you never asked any questions. Like basically you should assume that guys are seeing other people, or anyone seeing other people, but specifically guys are seeing other people unless you've had a talk.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if there's anything like you can learn about men, like they're keeping their options open until
you say they're closed.
Until they are closed.
It's true.
So just always know that.
Yeah.
Like, I think we like women, straight women like to do wishful thinking where they're like, well, he hasn't mentioned anyone. Oh, you don't say he hasn't mentioned to you one of the girls he's fucking, other women he's fucking. Wow, what an amazing man. What an amazing guy.
Him? Yes. Like, it's because he hasn't mentioned any of those other hoes.
Until there is a gun to his head.
Yeah, exactly.
By the form of are we exclusive?
Yeah. And honestly, it's a smart like play or tactic. Like, why
also, let him fuck other people? Because then if you're together, then you're the person he wants to be with, and he's tried out other options, and he wants you that much more.
Yeah, I think sometimes women are offered too much information. Like, you don't need to show your hand all the time.
Yeah, it's true. Tact.
Like what? Like you don't need to show your hand. Men aren't showing their hand all the time, and it's not showing your hand and lying are two different things. There really are. You don't need to show everyone. People have to earn the right to get to know the layers of you. Yes. Okay, and I don't think men are doing it for that reason. Nope. So please don't interpret it as such. But I mean,
I just really want to know who you are.
That's certainly how I do it. When I like tell someone something about myself and then they turn out not to be the person who I thought they were, like that's what annoys me about it. It's like, oh, I trusted you enough to share this like intimate part of myself with you, and now you've lost the privilege to learn anything more. So now the door is closed on that, But yeah, nothing. I mean, like we've gotten a lot of like fucking jaw-dropping emails on this podcast.
Nothing about his behavior is bad.
Nothing on here is crazy to me, honestly. Like it all worked out fine in the end. You've talked about it. He didn't try to deny anything. So. Yeah. And also, why is question 4? Do you have general advice for people who might meet someone through a dating app?
You already met him.
You're with this guy. You have a kid. What are we talking about?
You have a daughter.
What are we talking about?
Enjoy that is our advice.
Yeah.
Enjoy your kid. Enjoy your baby daddy.
Yeah.
Keep being honest with each other. Make sure you do stuff for just you. And carry on with your life.
Yeah. And then, yes, of course, there will be issues going forward in your relationship. I don't know what they are yet.
Yeah.
Though. That's why you're not aware of them, because no one knows what they are.
Right.
Can you imagine if you just got like a fucking like list of things that will go wrong in your relationship as you enter the relationship?
Whoa, I freaking wish.
No,
Love a
I would.
heads up.
I would hate that.
Yeah, you don't want
I would
that.
be worried the whole time.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't do. It's not good for your mental health.
yeah, no. So
If you're smart, you'll just have the foresight to know what will happen anyway.
Or you just go to a psychic. Anyway, see one on Wednesday. Yeah, cool. See us live, guys. We're going to be on tour individually. I'm going to Toronto, July 28th and 29th. These are headlining dates for me, Krystyna. Los Angeles, August 2nd. San Diego, August 3rd, 4th, 5th. Fort Worth, Texas, aka Dallas, Texas, August 11th and 12th. I'm very excited for these dates. KrystynaHutchinson.com is where you can get tickets. And then every month, 4 times a month, I lead group therapy over Zoom on my Patreon, where you could sign up. So far for it's just $5 a month, but I'm going to raise it. So sign up now. But they have been some of the most incredible conversations I've had that will stick with me for probably the rest of my life. It's a really cool space that we've created where, and when I say we, I mean me and people who sign up for the Patreon. And I upload all the audio. So if you can't make the times that I list, I release them at the top of every month. They're usually different, but for the most part, it's Monday evenings, East Coast time. I upload the audio so you can hear everything that was said. So it's kind of like a private advice podcast where you guys are the guest. So if you want to sign up for that, it's patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson.
And then, of course, the next installment of Gash at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles is going to be in August. Keep an eye on my Instagram for when tickets go on sale for that. It is my horror movie themed new monthly-ish show in Los Angeles. And follow us or follow me on Instagram with that show. It's Gash Slasher Comedy. And of course, follow me at Philanthropy Gal because I just drop the ticket link whenever I feel like it. But that shit sells out quick. So if you're not on Instagram when it comes out, it goes away. And of course, listen to Without a Country podcast on YouTube, on Gas Digital Network, here Luminary. Well, it's just called Luminary, but the Instagram handle is here Luminary. And we go over the news. I scan all the news outlets so you can just listen to the one podcast and you don't have to research everything. We've been looking into some interesting stuff. There's some conspiracy. There's a little, Two Less Lonely Girls-esque celebrity stuff that we get into. And then, of course, the hardcore news that you need to know. We are going straight into that 2024 presidential election. Trump is running again. And right now it looks like he will get the Republican nomination. Obviously, it's a little too soon to tell, but, don't sleep on it because that happened last time. Yeah. Everyone said, "Oh no, Trump will never get elected." Honestly, including me, I didn't think it would happen, and it happened. So, wake up,
Yo, that motherfucker might go to jail.
Wake up! I don't think so, honestly. No. And isn't it like the judge who's like presiding over has been like really this new one? He's been really light on him in the past. I don't think.
I'm not following it as closely. I watched the news only this morning, and it seemed like, the shit he did was actually pretty bad.
I just feel like if he hasn't, if after all the things he's done, after all the times people have tried to get him in trouble, if he hasn't really paid the penance yet, like I just don't think it's happening.
Right? I mean,
just don't think it's happening.
Very probable, but who knows?
Like crazy.
Crazy. What does this guy got to do?
What does a guy got to do?
What does a guy got to do to get fired around here? How are you?
I'm good. It is Pride Month still, so I did want to. This is a very interesting thing I found on the internet. So I love the web series Chicken Shop Date that I turned you on to. So if you guys aren't familiar with Chicken Shop Date, a very funny woman named Amelia, I believe, she interviews different celebrities in an actual like chicken and chips shop, and she's just so funny, and she makes it feel like a real date. And so she did one with Kalani, and Kalani just uses the pronouns they them, so that that's what I'll be using. But Kalani was talking about this apparently notorious "Am I a Lesbian?" Google Doc, because Kalani,
I should join that,
like recently came out, and then all their fans were like, well, we kind of knew this about them the whole time. And it was interesting to see them figure it out in the public space. This is I kind of just got on to Kalani because of the Chicken Shop Date, but yeah, like that's what their fans were saying. And so then I just went and tried to find this because the URL keeps getting taken off the internet, and then they'll have to like put it into a new PDF. But I finally found it through a couple articles, and it's like a 31 page, I think it's now a PDF, not a Google Doc. And it goes through all these different sections. I haven't had time to read the whole thing.
Of her like journey of figuring out?
No. It's an this her
it's like a post.
I'm sorry, them finding this made them realize that they are interested in women.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, someone sent me this, and then everything kind of clicked. And then I saw a lot of lesbians commenting, and apparently everyone in the lesbian community, I'll have to text Ashley Gavin about it, knows about
resident lesbian.
Yeah, knows about this infamous Am I a Lesbian Google Doc, because everyone was like, the notorious Am I a Lesbian Google Doc, and I was like, now I have to fucking find this Google Doc because this is fascinating to me, and I just love, like, it's such a kind of like an interesting thing in culture that it even exists, you know. And I feel like safe talking about it here because this is mostly like a female podcast, but like it's like it's something that I feel like shouldn't even be posted about publicly because like the boys will find a way to ruin it.
As they do.
But like you go through all the sections, and so just like it literally is entitled Am I a Lesbian? And then the sections that you can, the clickable sections on this doc are: what is compulsory heterosexuality?
Whoa.
How do I know if I'm a lesbian? But I like fictional men / male celebrities.
Fictional.
But I think I've liked men before. Conflicting feelings about men. I'll tap on that one. Signs of compulsory heterosexuality. Attraction to men. Relationships with men. Sex and intimacy with men. Early interest in women. The straight version of you. And that's in quotes. Exploring attraction to women. Gender feelings. Considering lesbianism. Attraction versus compulsory heterosexuality. Nervous. And then the things under that umbrella are nervousness and blushing.
Aww.
Hypothetical attraction. Sexual fantasies. And then you might be a lesbian if, and a conclusion.
Wow.
So if you want to
thorough,
sit through and read this, and apparently this is the fact that so many people knew about this, that this is such a part of like lesbian culture. I found it really fascinating because I also kind of like, and then maybe that's just because of how the world is structured, but I feel like there is a lot of, and not that lesbian culture isn't rich, it's just not public. Maybe you guys are better at keeping secrets. But yeah, like there's so much that we know as a society culturally about gay guys.
Yeah.
And feels like there's so much less. It's like the L word and like Lilith Fair, you know?
The Indigo Girls.
And so this made
an Indigo Girls concert.
Yeah, this made me really excited. And I was like, because obviously there is more to the culture. We're just not aware of it.
Right.
You know?
Right. We haven't been exposed to it.
We haven't been exposed to it. It hasn't been publicized. It's not glittery. So maybe people, you know, it
doesn't appeal to like men getting to watch two chicks rub their vaginas together.
Right. And so I was like, this is really cool. And I thought it was a really cool thing. Cool. I was like, this will be my, pride reading project. But I love stuff about this. Like that just kind of makes your brain think in a different way and consider things because, we are, not that I don't think I'm a lesbian, and it is something,
I don't think you are either.
And it is something that I have definitely like spent lots of time thinking about. Never really something that I was like, not because I was like, oh, I'm concerned, in quotes, that's not something to be concerned about, but like, it's definitely one of the many things that people like to heave on me. Like, oh, you hate men so much, you must be a lesbian. It's like, no, I don't hate men. I hate you if you said that.
Yeah.
I hate that type of man for sure. But, I've explored it as far as like, letting a lady finger me. It's just, I've just never. One time in like 8th grade, I had a crush on this girl who sat next to me in math, but it was just like, I liked her vibe. I didn't want to fuck her. And that's pretty much the extent of my lesbianism.
Yeah. I had the only crush that I've had on a female was for my 4th grade teacher, but I feel like that's because my mom wasn't present in my life. So it's like, you can't really, it's not. Because
it's a girl crush. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just wanted like a mom figure. I just wanted like a nice lady in my life. So it's that disqualifies itself with everything I know now.
Yeah.
A woman, man, I did a Sheba's show a couple days ago.
Oh, Shebs. And love her.
couple lesbians came up to me afterwards and they hit on me, but they did a great job because they led. I could tell they didn't. I said I have a bit about being straight and how I wouldn't choose that if we got to choose.
Right.
And I think they had a very I'll turn you kind of energy, and I was like, okay, I wasn't feeling it, but
right,
yeah, that was it. I thought that was interesting.
I know, because like after shows, a lot of like I'll panic because I think a lot of people have decided for me that I must be a lesbian and don't know it yet, and like
I've never thought that. Like
I literally can't tell you how like wrong of a read that is, but I'm so used to people reading me wrong that it's just like added to the list, you know, or like projecting their own thing, or there's something about like how clear I am about who I am that people must think like it couldn't be that simple. And really it is.
Right.
As I always say, like that's my mom. My mom's like, oh, you're a difficult person. And you know, she's like, but one of the easiest things about you from a parental standpoint, like in raising you, is she was like, you always made it very clear like what you wanted, even if what you wanted was like a very unreachable, wild thing.
Yeah.
She's like, I never had to guess what it was that you wanted or needed.
That's great.
Even if it was going to take,
long time
to take a climb to get there. Not money. No, it was like, please, I think people wish it was as simple as like buying things I want. It's just like,
or just like I want to
getting something. Yeah. So,
I was listening to Dan Savage podcast episode this morning. And he, at the beginning, he does like news segments. And one of the things that he talked about, and I'm like, oh my God, Taylor Swift fans. There's a chunk of Taylor Swift fans that are more intense than others. Obviously, that's nothing new to say. But there's a fucking petition to get her to dump her boyfriend.
They're already over.
That's over.
Right, but it like, dude.
Yeah, they're crazy.
What the fuck is your problem? You love this musical artist and they're dating somebody that you don't think is hell. What are you, my fucking you know what? That's why I got triggered. I'm like, what are you, my fucking mother? Don't tell me who I cannot date. I'm like,
people spend so much time thinking about other people.
How can you be a fan of an artist in that way and be so disrespectful to her own discernment? Maybe her discernment is bad, but like, let her fucking live.
But we've even seen that with ourselves, and just think of how exacerbated it is to be on the level of someone like Taylor Swift. When people are a fan of you, especially in this age of technology where everyone's like, they feel like, well, I bought, an album and a t-shirt. So almost like I bought stock in Taylor Swift. People definitely feel like that.
And I got to say, if you're listening to this and you feel like that, that's fucking gross. Please consider reevaluating the way you think about your favorite artist, because
it just means you have a lack of control in your own life and you're trying desperately to get control of something. Like I honestly have sympathy for those people. But,
when you said you've so nailed it, when you're like, basically every Taylor Swift fan like at the concert is because Taylor Swift's like main message in her song is like, why you like her and not me? And it's a bunch of those chicks at a concert. And I imagine
the mousy houseies.
Yeah. And there's got to be, the top 2% of them are probably that nuts. But I'm like, as a Beyonce fan, like a big Beyonce fan, I would not dare question her fucking decisions. Not even if they were bad. I'm like, all right, she's making a bad decision. I don't care. Like, I don't understand what would compel somebody to care about a musical artist and then just sign a petition for her to dump her boyfriend.
Well, it's funny too, because all these women are so fucking desperate for unconditional love. It's like, well, maybe why don't you show it before you can expect other people to give it to you.
Good point.
That's how I feel about the Spice Girls. I mean, it used to make me so angry when people like they would critique. It's like, I actually said to my therapist recently in the middle of a session, I don't even know what the hell I was talking about, and then I was like, I said to her, I would never say anything mean about the Spice Girls. Like that came up in therapy.
Yeah,
because I think I couldn't understand how people can be so awful. Like I talked about in our book, everyone's a fan, but they're like Selena's fans. They'll stab you in the back in a second.
Oh, yeah. Well, as her manager, but yeah.
No, it was her fan club president.
Oh, I thought it was her manager.
Fan club president.
Oh, wow, that's a different layer.
Yeah.
I saw that movie so many times, I forgot that detail. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Let people live, guys. Let people make mistakes. Let people exist. Speaking of people, we got one for you.
Smooth.
Right. I love these intros. I'm just crushing them the last over a decade. Our guest is a stand-up comedian, radio personality, and I swear to God, Amy Poehler's voice twin. We had such a great conversation with her. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Guys We Fcked, Mary Santora. We are here with stand-up comedian and a Cleveland native and enthusiast.
Yes.
Mary Santora.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
So good to see you.
That's a great way to put it.
How many DUIs do you have?
Well, here's the thing. I don't. And that's a great assumption.
The only girl in Cleveland.
I know, dude. I'm like the winner. But I will say this, and this is not a laughing matter, but I have crashed. I've totaled 6 cars.
What?
Whoa.
From drinking.
Whoa.
I just
You're not
snuck
doing
out.
any favors for women drivers.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's not that I'm a good driver. I just am incredibly lucky. That's all that it is.
Whoa.
But yeah.
So wait, how did you crash 6 cars from drinking and then never get a DUI?
I don't know.
Did you just run off?
No, I just,
You're white.
it was, yes, a
That's part
small
of
white
it.
female.
That's got to be part of it.
Probably has something to do with it.
That's crazy.
Well, and the
that
thing
no one
is,
reported it.
they were always, I never crashed into other people. So I would like total my car
So you
into a
crashed
tree.
and no one saw it?
No one saw it. And then I would just
Andy
drive
Haynes'
home.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, whose story?
Andy Haynes. That was like, I think that was his rock bottom story. Was like he was just like didn't know where he was on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oopsies, I was driving.
Yeah,
It's a miracle that half of us are even alive.
I drunk
100%.
drive once in my life. I'm not proud of it at all. Oh, I was so drunk. I had no business. I was 22.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck did I get from A to B? Like alcohol and driving, I mean,
No.
I know it doesn't mix and we all know that, but like it really doesn't mix.
Oh, no, dude. And
Alcohol and walking barely go together.
Yeah, alcohol
you know?
and
alcohol and
texting.
talking,
Alcohol and
speaking,
texting.
anything.
Yeah.
That was, you talk about a rock bottom story. So I'm 4 years sober. And it was like the last day that I drank, I had gotten into a real accident with another car in the middle of the day.
Somebody else is involved.
And
oh, fuck.
but I didn't remember. I like woke up to their information in my phone and like a ticket from a cop. And I was like, this is horrifying.
Slept through it?
No. I was in a blackout. Fully funked. Like my body was still going.
Whoa, man, that is wild.
And then the next day I was like, I'm done. I'm going to kill somebody. I'm going to kill myself.
yeah.
Like this. And, that was one of the factors of why I quit.
Did you wake up in your car or a bed though?
I woke up at my apartment.
Okay,
My
at least it
car
wasn't on the
was not
lawn.
there.
Okay.
It was just parked at a random bar. So I'm assuming, I'm assuming I got in that crash, parked my car near
Wow.
a bar and then went home.
You
I don't
did-
really know.
Damn, blacking out is like your soul leaves your body.
It's truly insane.
And you're
It's
just a robot walking around doing shit.
I can't remember. I think it might have been John Mulaney. There's a comic who says like it's when your body goes to sleep, but your brain does a victory lap.
Yeah.
Or your brain,
That's great.
opposite. Your brain goes to sleep, but your body does a victory lap. Where it's like,
We're
we're
still
not
doing
done.
it.
Right.
We're still here.
I
Yeah.
can still do shots right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Those stats are why I am now a sober person.
Right.
Because, yes,
6
100%.
cars total.
Yes,
Damn,
too many,
girl.
too many.
Yeah.
No, so 4 years. So were you in a relationship while all this was happening, or
Yes. So
Yeah.
my ex and I, we just should not have been together. You know what I mean? It's one of
Tales
those.
old as time.
But okay, so wait, and this is just like me picking from like things that, I saw on social media. But
Sure.
you were with that person for a good amount of time, and and seemingly happy with them.
So we were together.
Based on the posts?
Based on the post. Well, we talk about crashing cars. I had crashed one.
Well, because I also think you said like we had exchanged a message or two during that time, and I thought you were okay. Maybe this is
So
yeah.
I was ready to move to Chicago.
Okay.
And I was like all set to be this comic in Chicago, right? I had been doing comedy for a year and I was like, I'm going to go to improv classes and I'm going to be amazing.
Second City, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And just want to be Tina Fey so bad.
Yeah.
And,
Or Amy.
anybody, please. And I got in an accident. I had totaled another car. This was like my second or third one.
You're totaling cars cross country
That's
tour.
exactly what it is, man. And because of that, I had to use all the money I had saved to get a new car. So I
Yeah.
didn't move to Chicago, got a job at a restaurant. And then the guy that I met was the kitchen manager.
So you met him when your plans got derailed.
Exactly. So we
Damn.
started hanging out and I was in my early 20s and it was very much like there's a joke when people are like, oh, I was drunk that whole relationship. We 100% were hammered the entire time we were together.
Oh, wow. So you never got to know each other.
No.
Like people who work in the restaurant business too.
A lot of drugs and alcohol.
So that's
drink as
all
much
it
as
is.
comics, if not more.
Yeah, more, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the thing is that I was doing comedy and then daytime bartending. So I would get off at like 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he was the morning guy, so we would just go get hammered at like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we're like, we're so in love. This is amazing. And this is like,
I feel so great.
oh my God, dude, this was like early 2010s. So like 2012, 2013 in that era.
Okay.
So craft beer was huge.
Yeah.
Whiskey was having its moment. So that's all we did is we went and we had like expensive dinners and craft beer and whiskey.
Yeah.
And like that
You
became...
got to have one person in the relationship to go, hey, maybe we should go to bed or drink some water.
Never. That never happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You just egged
I
each other
was-
on. You yes-anded each other to the sky.
No, the timeline. So
It sounds fun, but
Right, yeah.
You must have been telling me
ultimately
about
bad.
your current boyfriend because I was like that was too long ago on a timeline. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know you at that point.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. My current boyfriend is fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
very happy
Yeah.
in this
Yay.
relationship. This is like the epitome of, it's like annoyingly good.
Oh, I love that.
It's like I can't talk about it on stage because
Right, because
people,
it's too healthy and good.
he came from, his family has a lot more money than mine did, so I played to that dichotomy. And he's like, Mary, you have to be nice about me on stage. And I was like, except no one wants to hear that. Like when I go up and I'm like, oh my God, we're like in love and we talk through our problems. And like we're both medicated and in therapy. And it's, you know what I mean? Like
Too healthy.
exactly.
No one wants to hear. I would walk out of that show.
100%. It would just be like, you're an idiot. Like get out of here. But
How long have you been in that relationship, and what did it take to get from drinking all day to
Crashing cars
healthy?
together.
Yeah, that's like there's a lot of area between there to get from point A to point B.
So I was single pretty much that whole time. So my ex and I split off in late 2016. And then I met my current boyfriend, Brian, in 2019. A girlfriend of mine introduced us.
Good
a
3
mutual
years.
friend. Yeah. So I had 3 years where I was still partying real hard. And then
Oh, you still partied.
from 2016 to 2019, yes.
Yeah.
That was I called off a wedding, single hoe phase. Just
called off a
doing
wedding.
my
So wait,
thing.
Who were you engaged to?
The
drunk
Oh,
guys.
yes.
You were engaged.
They were
We
so
engaged.
fucked up that they're like, you should get married, right? Yeah, we
Dude.
fucking should.
Okay.
Holy
so
shit.
funny.
I don't like telling these stories because here's the thing: is
I've
that it's
been there,
well-hashed material. It's on my first album, but so my ex and he hooked up with my best friend, and she was the one who told me about it. He actually, she's not even the one who told me about it. Her and I were drunkenly fist fighting outside of a gay bar, and can you see why I'm a sober person?
Yeah.
My cousin was there.
But boy, did you sound fun.
Oh my God, dude. I was like, man, this life's so... No, I'm very, very happy that I'm sober. But so my best friend and I are getting in a fist fight. We're drunk.
After she told you she fucked your boyfriend?
She said it during the fight,
Oh,
but I
girl.
didn't. I was so
Discernment.
drunk. My cousin told me the next day. She was like, yo...
Did you catch that one thing she said?
I swear to God, that's exactly how it happened. She was
Yo,
like...
she fucked your boyfriend. You caught that, right?
Well, it wasn't fucked. It was like, hey, I don't know what this means, but she said that's why your boyfriend's fingers were inside me 2 weeks ago. And I was just
That's
like,
even worse.
holy
That's
shit.
worse.
Right.
I'd rather him
Dude.
fuck her. Yeah.
So
Fingering. That's intimate.
So then I asked her I was like, what the hell? Because we were all at a concert and we were all hammered and like,
That seems to be
That's where they fingered.
that's exactly what happened is that we went into the woods to pee.
All out of your body.
Oh, everybody. But that was always what
His
it
fingers
was.
did a
though.
victory lap into her pussy.
Right. His brain went to sleep, but his fingers were just on the way. We went to a concert in like the woods.
So Ohio.
It's so Ohio. It's
We were
like the
blacked
best
out.
venue in Ohio. It's called Blossom Music Center. It's fantastic. It's like a big amphitheater in the middle of the woods. It's awesome. But you go pee in the woods because I'm not waiting in the line, right?
Yeah.
But we like fell and we were all muddy. So I remember like taking my clothes off and my friend taking her clothes off, but I passed out as soon as we got in the car. I just like passed out drunk in the front seat. And apparently that's when
The fingering.
the hooking up and the rubbing and the kissing and things were happening over the center console next to my
I was gonna
passed
say,
out
you
body.
were in the
You were next to my passed out body.
I was
Yes.
gonna say, I was like, you weren't even in the back seat. That's crazy.
No. I was in the front seat. He was driving, and they were like over the center console.
They leaned
Oh my
over the
God.
past your passed out body to
Yes.
make out with each other to cheat on you
Yes.
in front of you in the same car.
Now here's the
That's
thing.
too long for a title.
It is. It is too much.
I saw you forming it, and I was like,
Yeah.
we can't inform with that.
yeah,
It's gonna fuck up
just
the
some
algorithm.
Word economy.
So I guess the reason, and now again, once confronted, my friend told me everything. She was like, "Here's what happened. It's the most fucked up thing that's ever happened. I have so much regret.
Okay,
I
that's
can't
nice
believe
at
it."
least. At
And then
least she
she
felt
was
bad.
like, she was the one telling me, and he was like, She's a lying whore. He gaslit me for over a year, saying that she was. It's my fault for not leaving.
And you believed him?
I don't know why
you wanted to believe
I wanted to
him.
believe
'Cause
him.
you're like, I'm having fun. We're both wasted.
Right.
We lived together. He's the first guy that I lived with, so it was like,
girl.
this is like meant to be, and we have all the same interests. But I didn't
There's
like
one
whiskey.
interest in it's drinking.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
whiskey.
like any of that. I didn't like whiskey. I don't like IPAs.
It's crazy.
I don't like them.
It's crazy what we think makes us happy as it's happening isn't making us happy
at all.
What a fault in our stars.
Dude, I was a Bud Light and tequila person through and through. Give me a shot of Patron.
You turned your back on yourself.
I did. I was like, I don't like this, any of it. I don't like what we're doing. I don't like the people
Step
we're
in
with.
your truth. Yeah, right.
And
it's easy to get there, man. It's easy.
And I thought we were so happy. So that happened in like September or October. September is when I found out about it.
Did you finally get justice though with him in terms of like he gaslit you for a whole year?
So,
Did you at least
wait, Krystyna, it's gonna get so much.
I hate him.
We got engaged in February.
Oh my God.
So I got engaged to this man after I found all this out. I chose to believe him, saying, "Oh, she's just this slut who wants to ruin my life." And I put a border between her and I, and she was like so torn up about it, where she's like, dude, I've known you forever. Like, you can't do this to me. Like, you know, every time we would try to hang out, it just got weird because she would come to me and be like, I'm not lying.
Right.
You know? And I was like,
she knew
yes,
your boyfriend was saying you lied.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Fuck.
So that went on for like a year. And then it's like, I wanted her to be the maid of honor at my wedding, but I can't. You know what I mean? It was a very terrible position I should have never, ever put myself in.
Right.
And he was just basically the whole time like, yeah, what a lying bitch. You know, I can't believe she would do that to you.
And every time you probably were like, yeah, fuck her. He's like, da-da-da-da.
yes. He's like, she just doesn't want to see us happy. And I was like, you're right. She probably doesn't. I'm like, and mind you, I'm drinking barrel-proof whiskey this whole time.
She just want me to be happy, you fucking bitch.
She does. You know what she did to you? She said a lie about it, and then to go to my wedding. You're not invited.
my watch,
They're not invited. You don't get choice fish or meat.
Oh God.
Just a trainer.
So happy you're in a better spot.
Dude, so then that ended. Not by my account. I didn't want to end it.
Damn,
he broke up with me.
That's always the way.
That burns, girl. That burns. I've been there.
It was a very humbling.
When the dipshit in the relationship has to go, all right, if you're not going to end this, I will.
It was one of those
How
very
do you
much
not
so
respect
situations. So he proposed. I had quit drinking as a New Year's resolution in January, and so I was completely sober. And then the weekend of Valentine's Day, he proposed to me, but he was blackout drunk. He had been drinking all day.
While he proposed.
Wait till you hear this.
Holy
God,
shit.
this is just so opposite of the person that I am.
And you knew he was blackout while you.
I didn't want to say yes. Everything in me was like,
Okay.
don't say yes to this.
Okay.
But I did.
Okay.
So the way that he proposed is he had this, Johnny Walker's a very expensive scotch, right? So he had this like 3 case of, I think it was blue, gold, and
This is
something
really
else.
funny already.
And they're small. They're small, right? So there was, I think it was blue, black, and gold. Whatever the 3 most expensive
Red.
ones
Yeah,
are.
okay, got it, yeah.
And in place of where the gold bottle should be was a ring box. So the way that he proposed was,
This is so trailer trash.
I gave up one of my alcohol spots for your diamond, bitch.
not even that. It was, babe, will you go get me a scotch? So how fucking misogynistic for him to be like, go pour me a scotch. And I was like, oh my God, a ring? Like it was just the worst. And this is
so
why I'm like,
happy
I
you're in a better
don't
spot.
like telling these stories because they make me feel like such a moron.
But the thing
You know what I
is,
mean?
so many intelligent
Yeah.
men and women have been in this situation where they're watching their life happen and they're like, I don't like any of this shit.
Not a single
What-
part of it.
and then once you realize that, you're like, okay. But then a lot of times it takes an additional year to go, am I going to do something about it? Or I'm just going to witness myself live this life that I fucking hate.
And just continue to get drunk. I would just drink bottles
And
of
that's
wine
probably
at home.
why
and,
you drank, you continued to drink because you're like, I got to forget about
I'm
this.
so unhappy. And
Yeah.
so
Damn.
after he broke up with me the following Christmas, I moved out on my own. I know, we made it like so
Fucked up every holiday
a
for you.
year and a half after I found out that he cheated.
Wow.
And then we weren't sleeping in the same bed for a couple months. I was doing his laundry and found stuff. And then he was
What'd you
like,
find?
well, so he had left his phone in a backpack because he didn't stay at home.
Oh, I
and
thought
he
you
was
meant like you found poop or something.
yes, I found poop in his underwear, which is actually why
he
we
ain't
split
cheating.
up.
There's skid marks.
Obviously at this point I'm going through his phone because I'm a neurotic person.
Well, and the relationship you have is toxic already, so fuck it, you know?
So he had left his phone in a backpack, asked me to do his laundry, and I did because I had this mentality of like, and he was very, that's how his family was like, the women are at home, you're going to have kids, we're going to get married, you're going to be a mom, and I'm going to continue to work. And by the way,
what did he do for work?
He's a kitchen manager. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're making $200,000 a year and you're killing it.
He's holding a high importance to a job that
I managed the entire kitchen.
These chicken tenders would not get dropped without me.
When there's too much oil in the fryer and it's not clean, it fucks it up.
It's not like it's like a Michelin star restaurant.
It was a bar. It was a literal like a lesser Applebee's.
Yeah.
Shit.
I was doing all my chores and I went through his phone and I found text messages from another chick that he worked with. And then I investigated. Now get this. You talk about Ohio trash. I went to rival middle schools with this girl.
Cunt.
So I've known her for 20 years.
This lion cheating.
Fucking.
So I go to her Facebook and I can't find her. I go to the Instagram and I can't find her. And then I had my sister look and she goes, yeah, she's right here. She's posting every day. I was like, she blocked
you
me.
So she could fuck your boyfriend.
So she could fuck at that point, fiance.
Yes. High stakes, higher stakes, higher stakes.
And so when you went to the Facebook page, was there were they hanging out?
It wasn't any posts like that, but it was text like,
she was probably
last night
embarrassed.
this and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, all of a sudden, that's interesting. And I texted him about it. I was like, funny thing. I can't find so-and-so's Facebook and I've known her since I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
So funny.
How excited
Can
were
you
you to say
ask
that?
her about it when you're at work tomorrow? And he was like, oh yeah, that's real. I don't do social media, so I don't really know how that kind of stuff works and blah, blah, blah. So I was like,
I don't know how it works.
Were you good though? Were you good at the keeping your tone to not reveal that you knew?
Yes.
Oh, that's a fucking skill. I feel like you have that skill probably too.
That's how you know you're actually so crazy.
Oh, you're just a sociopath.
Yeah. If I got my emotions,
information.
My emotions are dripping with what I'm saying, even if it's not what I mean. I'm
but
like,
here's the thing.
How did you find your fucking Facebook profile?
Did you see this piece of shit? He's just like not even saying words.
I wouldn't be capable of talking calmly.
But the thing is, when that's like one level of angry, but I feel like the next level of angry is so angry that you're not angry anymore.
Well,
like
my
you're not
thing
showing the anger.
That's scarier.
Yeah.
I would keep it like Corinne. I would keep it chill, and then I'd get 6 months of hatred and snooping, and then I would blow the fuck up like twice a year. I would lose my mind, throw things, screaming.
Yeah, because that
take
energy,
my ring off and
energy
throw it out
cannot
the
be
window.
destroyed.
Right. So that was that relationship.
Wow.
Okay? In a nutshell, that's what that was.
Did you ever call him out on the chick that you went to school with? Did you ever get a glory moment?
I didn't. It was one of those by the time that they were together, our relationship was so in shambles that it didn't even matter.
Together.
After I left and moved out, they were like still seeing each other. Now get this, he cheated on her with the girl that he's currently married to.
What? Currently, I like that you use the language currently married because that's 100%.
That shit ain't gonna last.
We'll see what happens.
Currently married to.
Yo, it always amazes me that guys like this just find woman after woman after woman, and that's why we say don't be a dumb bitch, ladies. Because when you're a dumb bitch, you are actively egging on people like him.
Yes,
or women like him.
He's not that hot.
Of course not.
Start there.
What is his
not
dick?
That
his
good.
Dick probably terrible. God, it's always bad dick, bad face, shitty body.
But there was something about
awful
him
person
that I was like,
can't get enough.
I have no idea.
Can't get enough of them.
That's what I need in my life.
Well, that's why you were drinking, to make them palpable.
100%. His tongue was like whatever that part of your tongue is.
Yeah.
Was like fused almost to the end of it. So his tongue could only go out to like there.
Ew.
So he was always like, I can't go down on you because like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't.
He has a disability, Mary. So
he like made it be like this whole thing. But
he has a service dog, a Labrador.
This is my emotional tongue support dog.
He talks when I can't.
Man, like a parrot.
Yeah. Can't
eat pussy. Sorry, doctor's orders. So after after that relationship ended, I was single. I was still drinking for a couple years, and I was like totally hoeing out.
That January right before you got engaged, that resolution, how long did that resolution of not drinking last?
6 weeks. Because when he proposed, I drank that night to celebrate.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Okay. Can I ask how he broke it off? Like, what did he say?
It was just very much like, this isn't working. I don't want to be married. I don't think this is for us. Blah, 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 blah.
It was the most logical he's been the whole time.
Right. Well, and then it was like, we left notes to each other that I still have on my computer, like letters back and forth, because he didn't want to see me face to face. So he would like type out a letter on the computer and then leave the laptop up. So I would come home and I would see this letter, and then I would respond and leave it there.
Whoa.
It was very fucked up. Well, it was so, I mean, it's like whatever.
It's more than some couples, unfortunately. Did he have friends?
Yes.
He did.
He did.
Okay, I was pegging him for somebody who didn't have friends.
They weren't great friends.
Okay.
I never liked
drinking
them.
friends.
Yes,
I feel like
100%. They were whiskey friends. Like that's the only thing they ever talked about.
Friends you shouldn't be around when you're sober, probably.
Or wouldn't want to,
right.
frankly.
So and then how long did it take him from breaking up with you to get married? What was the length of time there?
Like a year and a half.
That's what I was thinking.
Because maybe 2 years.
I didn't want to get married, but now I'm feeling like it.
Yeah. Oh, this girl's. I don't. Okay.
The
she
vibe
doesn't hate
wasn't
me yet.
there in like 2016, but the vibe's like there
She's
now.
Like, commitments, like weird.
It sucks to get dumped by somebody who sucks.
That I didn't talk to my best friend for a year, more than that, and then I have to come crawling back like you were right. Yeah, I didn't listen to you.
Well, you still hooked up with your boyfriend, so it's not like she was like fine.
Right, I know, but
she's totally in the clear.
I give her the benefit of being the one who was honest,
and it sounds like she was really fucking sorry.
She was 100%.
We do as a society. We need to get better at apologizing.
And you guys were all wasted. Yeah,
yeah, right. And so it's like the circumstances plus her apology did seem.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then that was I moved out at the beginning of 2017. So 2017 to 2019 was just drugs and dick and bars, and I was just living my life, doing whatever I wanted to do. I got back on the road in 2017 because I basically stopped doing comedy at that point because I was like, I'm going to be like a wife, and so there's all of that led to the drinking. It was so Ohio of me.
That was so Ohio.
You were divorced from yourself.
Oh, gross.
You were divorced from yourself during that period. It's sad.
Yes, I was.
But that's what will push you further into an addiction, because you're watching, you're going, this is so sad. Right? Like, oh my God.
100%, dude. So those like 2 years that I lived on my own for the first time ever, I'd never had my own apartment. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like just partying every night. And it was exactly that. It was just another hoe phase, another doing whatever I felt like doing at the moment. And I'm very glad that I had it.
Yeah.
Then the drinking got worse and heavier and, more bigger consequences from drinking. So I got sober in 2019.
Anything bigger than the car crash?
No.
Okay.
That was like my come to
like
Jesus
you crashed
moment.
A wedding and you're like, I don't think you guys should be together.
I would. Honestly, I was that person who absolutely would.
Yeah.
Right. The story about the day that I quit drinking though. So I was on I had met a dude on Hinge who was really cute, and like we had gone on 2 dates and it went really well. And then so the third date, and this is where I was at in my life, I was like, hey, I have tickets to this daytime bar crawl to celebrate what's the Mardi Gras? It was a Mardi Gras themed
whatever
daytime bar
the fuck
crawl.
day it is this year. Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, do you want to come with me? And this guy was like, hey, I can't. I have to go back home to my hometown. I have a funeral to go to. Oh my God, so sorry. Right, no worries. So I took my gay best friend, and it was like a Saturday during the day. So Friday night I went out and I woke up in that like hungover drunk state. So my gay best friend's with me, and he's like, let's just do a shot. Let's just dive right back in.
Hair of the dog,
100%. So we do that. And so now I'm drunk at like 11 a.m. And we're going on this bar crawl. We get to like the fourth, because they had like you know what? When they do the whole thing, you got like a passport and you got to get stamps at every bar.
I actually never went on a proper bar.
Are you serious?
I've never done a bar crawl.
Maybe this is a Midwest thing.
I know what it is.
I have a weak stomach.
I couldn't last more than like 3 drinks.
Yeah, we would be out.
Yeah.
The whole point is that, say there's 8 bars on the bar crawl, and they're always different themed, and usually have to get a stamp or a sticker or something saying, hey, I made it here. And then if you make
like
it
it's an
all
accomplishment. Oh God.
But the thing is, there's prizes. So like
our society rewards alcoholism.
If you make it to all of them, you get like a T-shirt or a gift card to Circle K or something. Like it's ridiculous. Circle K. But
I would just need like a sandwich and like a guy to rub my back. By that point.
Some Chinese food to suck up that alcohol you've been drinking.
8 bars. So we get to like the 3rd or 4th bar, and I saw the guy who was supposed to be at a funeral.
Girl.
And he's there with another chick, and I look, and my gay best friend Dwayne, he looks at me and he goes, "What is this?" Like he saw it happening, and he's like, "What is happening?"
Well, like the thing is, it's like in that phase, it's fine if you have another date, but what? Because you're not exclusive. But why did you say a funeral? Just say, "Oh, sorry, I already have plans with a friend."
Yes. So Dwayne looks
you
at
mean
me.
try to get out of work at CVS?
Yeah, why? How many people?
Your grandmother
do you know?
died 3 times?
Yeah,
she did. Okay,
she's super dead. All right, the first time it wasn't that dead. Now she's real dead.
Like Jesus, funeral. People always got to go so hardcore with the lies.
So did you walk right up to him?
Of course I did.
You walked right up to him.
My best friend looks at me and he goes, "What's this? Looks like we're gonna take a turn for the day." We know each other so well that, and I was like, I told him what happened, and he's like, "Are you gonna make a scene?" Like he wasn't gonna try to stop me. He was just like,
a gay man would never try to stop a woman from making a scene.
No.
Real Housewives,
the best
real
cheerleaders.
Life. This is amazing.
Exactly, because he was,
and I'm not involved.
Real Housewives of Cleveland.
Dude, he was basically like, "What level of prepared do I need to be?"
Yeah, that's a good.
You know what I mean? Like, do you need? Because he's a pretty jacked dude. He's like, "Do you need me to fight him? Do you need me to pull you off of her? Like, what is my role?"
And leading up to this, it's also like, nothing's going to make a man change his mind more than you drunkenly confronting him while he's on a date with another woman.
And he's like, you're at a funeral for our relationship right now.
100%. Our first 2 dates, but I
meant nothing to you.
I look at my gay best friend and I just looked at him and after I told him what happened, I was like, "Is she hotter than me?" And she was real hot. Like the chick, I know, the chick that you. And
you know what? It might have been worse if she was uglier though.
At least I feel a little bit better.
Yeah, at least you go,
I get it.
I would have chosen her.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes I see a girl and I go, "Yeah, you made the good move for you.
You know what?
You made the right choice for you."
She's in the lead.
This is like height of my alcoholism. So I'm like 20 pounds heavier than I am now. I had bright red hair. I had super crooked teeth. Like I was.
Wait, really? You have great teeth.
Oh, I have them now. Yeah.
I was actually just noticing what nice teeth you have.
Yeah.
I got Invisalign, but my teeth were like. They were bad.
So you had fucking
You're really painting a
gnarly claw. You looked like Chucky, but a girl turned to life.
I had county fair teeth. You want to see? Dude, they were so bad. Let me
you
see
had
if I can
wild
find.
curly red hair?
It was probably just dirty.
Red hair.
I don't know what I did with it.
Like red, like you dyed it like a natural red or red, like the color.
Late for court red.
Like,
I know exactly what
Ohio red. It's Ohio red. Candy apple, fire engine.
Stripper red,
trying to get my kids back red.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah, picking the kid up while smoking a half a pack of cigarettes in the car,
100%.
windows up.
You got to work for like L'Oreal and do some naming.
I literally, right. I know because I just screenshotted pictures of me from that point in my life not too long ago.
I love when people post, when people who are sober or like have gone through like, nervous breakdowns and stuff and come out on the other end, when they post before, like, this is what I look like during this phase of my life and this is what I look like now. Honestly, some of the best motivators to change.
That's not you.
Because some people you're like, your soul wasn't in your body.
It wasn't. I was just
There's nothing behind those eyes.
Not a good person at this point. So that was the rest of that bar crawl. I decided I'm gonna get drunk at him. I'm gonna show him.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna take shots.
That's the Ohio way.
Right? You wait and see what you're missing. I don't know.
I'm gonna get even more shit-faced for you, motherfucker.
Oh, you think you're just gonna funeral date without me? You want to ban for a funeral date? Then what?
You want a bottle?
That's exactly what it was.
So also like, was he on the bar crawl or are there not a lot of bar? Like,
no, he was. He had the lanyard.
My God, he had the exact same tickets.
He came to the date that I invited him to.
What if you gave him the idea and then he took the hotter girl out?
You know what, Krystyna? She probably did. That's such a man move.
Fuck. That's
so annoying.
And then he goes out of all the bars in Cleveland. You had to walk into mine.
Yeah.
Hey, babe.
This is probably the best picture.
That's one of the most
I
hurtful. That's so hurtful, man.
All right. That's what we're dealing with.
Oh, honestly, not as bad as I thought.
Not as bad.
But you do have a smile that's like, I'm doing great.
Yeah, right.
Can you show it to the camera?
Sure.
Yeah,
let me see if I can.
The teeth situation, I think, is the biggest problem.
I can show you a before and after of the teeth.
It is picking my kids up at court red, though. You're absolutely late for court red, 100%.
I don't mind that.
I'm such a train wreck. Real quick, how I got that hair color. I know I'm doing. Oh, here you go. There's a good one.
Oh wow, you look like somebody's going to tell me my opinions are wrong.
Oh, 100%.
And like in line for 7-Eleven. Yeah,
just a terrible, terrible person.
Yeah.
But I would do just the worst things.
So you got drunk at him.
Got drunk at him.
This is great.
And then the rest of the day is kind of a blur. That's the day that I got in an accident, woke up the next day.
Oh, that's a lot.
So that was what led up.
Okay, so that makes sense because you had a reason to get so drunk, and there was like
drunk.
Even though your soul left your body, your body was still pissed.
100%. So I'm like drinking all day, and I woke up and I had like hundreds of missed calls and voicemails and people trying to find me, and it was not a good thing. And then that accident was like, okay, this has to stop.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill someone. I'm gonna kill myself. Something bad is going to happen. So this was like a whole lead up.
You never heard from this guy again?
No.
Did he say why he lied?
No.
I mean, at least make him squirm.
At that point,
at least make him uncomfortable with his truth.
Well, I'm sure he was scared in the bar when he saw her.
Probably.
I walked straight up to him.
You just fucking charging at him like a fucking the rhino at the end of the Jumanji parade.
I was so mad. Who's dead? Where's dead person?
Our love.
Right. I was so mad.
Shit, man.
So that happened, and then that was March 3rd, 2019. So that was my sobriety date. So March 2nd
so funny.
was...
Sober people always know the date, but now I understand why. Because your life really took a pivot.
I mean, you really did. You got a lot done that day.
Yeah.
I did, didn't I?
You imagine to do a lot more than people can do in a whole summer.
So
Fuck.
I did my wild phase after that, and I went doing my whole thing. And then my friend was like, I have this guy for you. He's so sweet. He's the best. He's amazing. Ooh. Like, you definitely need to meet him. He's one of my best friends. Like, she was talking up to the point where I legitimately asked her one time, I was like, are you into him? Yeah, I was like,
you try to fuck him?
Is there something there?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I've just known him forever. He's an incredibly good guy. And I always dated like short, stocky, dark-haired dudes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he is tall, thin, blonde, and covered in tattoos.
See, you have these physical criteria, and then they all go to shit when you meet somebody who's just wonderful.
Well, yeah, Michael, maybe your soulmate has mangled hands.
And fat clavicles.
Fat clavicles.
Chubby clavicles. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that's the opposite of...
I keep trying to find, I'm sorry, I just keep trying to find that picture of my teeth. Okay, here we go.
Your teeth are really nice.
There you go.
All that.
There you go.
Wow.
Okay, so
that
there
should be an ad
was
for Invisalign.
Yeah, who did that work?
That looks like a rescue dog's teeth. No offense.
No,
because you have better teeth now, so I can say it.
I'm going to say if we can.
And they're yellow.
They were awful.
That looks great.
The whitener, they did it.
Yeah, I want to get whitener.
They really did it for me.
Good for you.
That's
so yeah,
beautiful.
You can see like the before and after smile.
Oh my God, look at your gorgeous smile.
Yes, it's very, very different.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
this is one of the things you did for yourself getting sober. Because you're trying to give yourself positive dopamine. You know, like I feel like quitting a substance, you really got to replace the dopamine you were giving yourself by something else that's healthy.
And I started working out. I started cooking for the first time. And this all kind of coincided with the pandemic because I got sober in 2019. So I'm home. I'm like, working out. I'm cooking for myself. And so my boyfriend now and I met in 2019.
Through this friend.
Through a friend. She had a barbecue. She's like, Brian's going to be there. You got to meet him. Just meet him. That's all you got to do. And he had slid into my DMs like 2 weeks before that. And he's like, hey, I thought it was weird to ask Laura for your number because, he's like, I just want to, I'm Brian. I'm the one who's always asking about you. Like, I'd love to meet you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
God. He was like, he chose saw you in photos and like was asking about you.
Yes. He like knew that Laura and I were friends.
That girl? Who's
very
that
much,
girl you?
That's more
great.
interesting.
Yeah. And it's like, that's a stronger bond.
Yeah.
So, we met in person at her barbecue and he's just such a good person. Like he really is a genuinely good human being.
Love that.
And he was like, being weird and trying to, flirty and whatever. And then like he was getting ready to leave and he was like, well, I wanted to wait to ask you out in person. So if I could like take you to dinner this week or next week, I'd really like that. And like we exchanged numbers and I was like, all right, I'll give this guy a chance. And like,
but you were kind of like,
yeah, I was very much like, you don't look like what I wanted to. Right. Yeah. You don't look like what I want you to look like.
Right.
And it's not like he's ugly or anything. He's just not.
Non-toxics for cooking pans, not for my boyfriends.
Yeah, like the description sounds hotter than the description of the Oompa Loompas you used
100%
to wasted
like
Oompa Loompas.
little drunk Italian Oompa Loompas. Like that's what I was into. So we went on like.
Fuck your friend. Well, you're in the car. Sorry.
Right. Oompa Loompa cheating whore me.
Yeah. That's great.
So we went on like in 2019, he and I went on like 4 or 5 dates and it was great. It was going fantastic. And I liked him so much. We didn't sleep together. We didn't do it. Does my hair look crazy right here?
No,
I can see it
cute.
out of the corner of my eye. we didn't sleep together. We made out, and it was great. And then
Making out. It's the
like
best.
making out, like real making out.
I made out on the couch last night for like 20 minutes. I'm like,
Yes.
this is awesome. I got horny from making out. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what good making out does.
Exactly. And he was such a good kisser that I was like, oh.
Yes,
Because
yes,
remember the
yes,
ex
yes.
with the, you know, the
Yeah,
little tongue. He
ew.
couldn't
right,
taste
his
the
fucking
worst
tongue.
kisser.
That's so disgusting.
I can't eat you out.
Can't believe he's married.
Well, I love stories of women talking about like dating the trashiest human on the planet to like, it does get better.
100%.
yeah.
It gets better. So I liked him so much, but I was getting really busy on the road. The second half of 2019, a couple bigger name comics picked me up to go feature for them, mixed in with my own stuff. And I was like, hey, for the next like 4 months, I'm only going to be home like 2 or 3 days a week. So I'm not in a spot to get in a relationship right now. And I straight up asked him, I was like, do you want to be fuck buddies? Do you want to hook up when I'm home?
Yeah.
And he was like, no. And I was like, excuse me?
Because he loves you.
Well, he was like, I'm not good in non-monogamous situations. He's like, I'm not an open relationship guy. I've never been comfortable
he knows
with it.
himself and has boundaries.
And
Fuck.
And I would go, oh, so you're gay.
Right? So it's dick, is it? Is that what the difference was? No. But I was like shook. I was like, I cannot believe that he doesn't want to just have sex. Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's not what society taught me about men. Whoa.
Well, and I was also coming off of 2 years of just fucking everybody. Because I would send out texts like, hey, want to have sex? And like, absolutely be there in 20 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's like, no.
You're dealing with serious stuff with this guy.
So we broke up. We stopped seeing each other after like 2 months. And then I went and did the road. And then the pandemic happened.
Was it dramatic at all, or like?
I was actually really upset. Like, I cried, and I was the one who called it off.
Yeah.
And he was
You didn't want to try long distance?
I just wasn't
You had
ready.
it in your head that it wasn't going to work?
I wasn't ready to commit if I only have 2 days home a week, I didn't want to have to commit one of them to someone else.
You're right. Yeah. Wow. That's
You know?
good boundaries and knowing yourself and like foreseeing like your needs.
And it seemed like the good choice. Like if like your comedy's like blowing up and stuff.
And
doing well.
a piece of advice we give to a lot of people on the show that I really believe, but that you're proving is like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
Yes, 100%.
It will happen. Love will find a way.
So, I got a different hookup in the meantime from when I was home. And then pandemic happened. And then he texted me again. He would text me every couple months, just like something silly, like just to be top of mind kind of thing.
Yeah,
smart.
And then
Very.
I
like his strategy.
He knows what he's doing. And then he hit me up in like June of 2020 and was like, I know you're not on the road. I know you're not busy. I think about you all the time.
Ooh.
Like, are you willing to try again? Kind of a thing. I know, like very much. And I was like,
and wait, what was the month that you left off of in 2019? Remind me.
it was like August. It was like a full year
wow.
that we weren't together. And I was like,
man waiting for a woman. Love to hear it.
And how old are both of you at this time?
so this is 3 years ago. So I was 30 and he was 34 because he's 37. I'm 33.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Nothing going on. I'm not going anywhere.
No one else is here.
I liked you.
Yeah.
And I had also been dating that summer. I had gone on dates with like however many different people and they all sucked. They were all like everyone, because I'm at a different point now too. I'm a year into my sobriety.
Yeah, you're present.
I'm here. I know that I'm in a spot where I'm kind of ready for something a little more serious. I've done my sleeping around. Like I'm ready for the next thing, And so we were like, yeah, we'll try again. But then like nothing happened. And I had never seen Jaws. Okay. Classic movie. And it was playing at Jaws and Jurassic
Guys
Park.
love when you haven't seen a movie they love.
Oh, that's and it's
They
like
get
one of
off
his
on it.
favorites.
They're like, you haven't seen Indiana Jones?
I gotta introduce you to this.
Yeah.
Temple of Doom.
And then if you like look at your phone during the movie, wait, babe, watch
you
it.
see
Watch
it?
it.
Did
This
you
is
see what he
important.
said?
This is important.
It's like the whole crux of the movie. No, so I wanted to go see it. It was playing at a drive-in. I text my one best friend. She couldn't go. I text my dad. My dad couldn't go. So I text Brian. And I was like, hey, I know it's in like an hour, but I got a double feature. And he's a garbage man. So he has to wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
They make bank.
And yes, he does a great job. So he's like, this timing is crazy because normally I would have to say no because I would have to go to work. He's like, but I have to renew my CDL tomorrow. So my appointment for that's not till noon. So he was off work the next day. So it like worked out perfect
wow.
that he came to the drive-in.
It's meant to be. It's
I
gonna
know,
do it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna fucking happen.
That's what Brian was thinking though. He was like, how serendipitous.
I love it. But it is cute, And so we went and then it was just like, as soon as we got there, I was like, it was so easy and so perfect. And then we went to lunch the next day and he straight up asked me, he was like, why did you text me to go to the movie yesterday? And I was
Love
like,
this guy's communication
I
style.
know. Oh, our communication is unreal. And I tell people that
Firm,
I'm like,
yeah.
that's he has firm
Yeah,
boundaries.
he doesn't sit and wait for you to guess what he's thinking.
No,
Wild.
never.
Because that's what I do. Yeah.
So he's like, why did you ask me?
Yeah.
And I was like, do you want an honest answer? And he's like, yeah. I said, well, no one else could go. I was like, I texted my friend Kelsey and she was busy and my dad was busy. So you can thank them.
The writers aren't on strike, it seems.
And then, and I told him and he kind of laughed at that. And I was like, and honestly though, I've been on dates with other guys in the last few months. Like something in my throat. And they just there wasn't a connection like there is with you.
Yeah.
And he was like, like beaming, all like, cute. I know, cool. I am very great, you know. But then, from then on, we've been together. So it was,
Wow.
it was so funny. The next date we went on after that, we went canoeing.
Oh.
So it was like a 10-hour day. Like we're on a canoe all day together. We went home, we took showers, we went to dinner. And it was like,
That's lovely.
That was the day that I was like, if I can spend 10 hours with this guy and not get tired of him, and we still hadn't slept together at that point. So
Yeah,
I was like,
that's a long ass date.
And so and the sex ended up being great, obviously.
unreal.
Yeah.
Best sex. And people are like, oh, it's best sex because you're with him. I'm like, no. It's the best sex because it's the best sex I've ever had.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just very good about it. He's very generous. You know what I mean?
Love a
Like he
generous
makes
lover.
sure that I'm taking care of before we even start having sex.
Sign
and
of a
it's
good man.
like, come on now.
Yeah.
You know, to go
He's
from
the Prince of Ohio.
he's amazing. He's just an incredible person. And so that's a fantastic where I'm at now compared to where I was, like that whole dichotomy.
How's your happiness level compared to like, I imagine when you're drinking that much, you're running away from pain. But like, did you
Yes.
ever have a moment where you're like, I gotta face this shit?
Well, not until my dad died.
Oh, fuck.
So it was like I was running away from seemingly big problems that now looking back were nothing. Insecurities, body insecurities, like career insecurities or whatever it might have been. Those were the things I wasn't dealing with. Or
So you had an
like
intolerance for any hard feelings.
100%.
Like that.
That's what I've learned in therapy over the last couple of years is that I have zero healthy coping mechanisms. None. I don't.
And you really need, like, part of sobriety is like, you gotta have a fucking plan.
You got to figure it out. Well, you figure it out as you go. Because
Yeah,
for
you're
the
like,
first time,
Yeah.
you're raw dogging life, bro.
Yes.
You're just looking
Yeah.
at it and you're like, I have nowhere to run. I have nowhere
Right.
to hide. And that, it was when my dad died that I realized, oh, you don't have a single even close to a healthy coping mechanism because I'm always running for something, whether it's, avoidance where I'll lock myself in my room and cry for 4 days, or I'll want to go get drunk, or I'll go gambling, like anything to distract myself from my emotions like that. So it was like never a traumatic experience that I was running from. It was like looking
yourself.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, people have I think in general, humanity, like a lot of people have an intolerance for like negative feelings. That's why people don't bring the certain things up in conversation. You know, like they're afraid to have the conversation of like, what's our sex life like? Or like, you did this thing that I didn't like, and that's why whenever I hear about somebody with good communication, like your husband, I'm like, oh, fuck. It reminds me of how bad most people's communication is.
I know. I have friends in my life who don't have great communication. And I tell them, I'm like, I'm not trying to be a relationship guru or anything like that, but we're both very open. And when we do have like, hey, I'm not super comfortable with this. I don't like how you handled this situation. And it sucks and it's weird for a few days or whatever it might be. But
that ultimately makes you closer too.
100%.
Yeah.
What did your boyfriend do? Like, or how was he there for you when your dad died?
So his mom passed away 10 years ago.
Oh, so he's
been there.
He's cheated. He's an expert.
He's an expert.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't count.
I was like, he cheated. Oh, I know what you mean.
I was like, yeah, that's a cheat code.
He's actually a grief therapist. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, oh, God,
Like, get out of here. No.
Jackpot.
No, so he like was very open and knew. He's like, I've been there.
Sure.
He shared
Of
his
course.
experiences. And even to this day, because I mean, it's only been 2 years since my dad passed away. So it's like, it's one of those where last week, I had a weird week. It was just a bad grief week. And the one day I was just sitting on the counter in our kitchen crying. And he's like, what's going on with you? And I was like, I don't know if I'm depressed or if I have grief or what. He kind of looked at me and he smiled. He's like, it's going to be all right. Like, you're going to get it together. Like, it's fine. And then this is how perfect this guy is. The next day I came home and I had flowers, Slim Jims, Nerds Rope, Funyuns, like all my favorite snacks and flowers. And he was like, I know you're going out of town, so the flowers don't make a lot of sense, but you're having a rough week. Like, and that's to a T. That's the kind of guy that he is,
That's
you know. So
a thoughtful man.
And he was always planning dates, so he's a single dad, right?
I was gonna say, like, what's it like having a 7-year-old stepson, basically?
A daughter.
Daughter.
It's okay,
Yeah.
but she. It was not easy. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm always interested in that, you know, because it's not like I don't mind the concept of like helping to raise someone else's kid. Like, I don't care. Like, we're all in this together. But like, what if they suck?
well,
Right.
she has.
What if you don't like the kid?
She has behavioral issues, and it's not like
That can be frustrating, I imagine.
It's super frustrating,
even though you don't blame her, but you're like, ugh.
Well, and that's the thing is that I'm like, she's 7. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And her Nana passed away, who she was very close with. So I'm like,
yeah.
I'm 33 and I don't understand grief.
Yeah.
You know, so for this to be spilling out of this tiny human, it's hard. You know, it doesn't make tantrums and things like that easier because you do react viscerally, and then you have to like take a step back and be like, okay, wait, let's relax, let's think about what's going on here. And also, her life changed a lot in the last few years. Her mom got a boyfriend, they had a baby, her dad got a girlfriend. You know what I mean? She went to school for the first time, so she has a lot going on.
That's a recipe for behavioral issues.
100%.
A recipe.
So,
And does she split time, or does she live with?
She splits time. So she's with her mom Sunday to Thursday, and we get her Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's we get her on weekends, they get her during the week.
And do you live with Brian?
Yes, we've lived together for over a year.
Okay.
And those are like a lot of uncomfortable situations too. When I'm like, hey, I'm not a birth mom, but this is how I want to handle this situation.
Sure.
You know? And so I feel like you have to have open communication at that point. Because
you got to talk it out loud.
Yes.
And go, how do we arrive at something that works for everybody?
Right. And so she's
eaten into a lot of you time too.
Yeah.
Well,
right. Like, I imagine you can get uncomfortably like, all right, me now.
You
Like,
have to
what
do,
the
like,
fuck?
kids-
You're in the,
you have to do,
it's
like,
a new
kid
relationship.
shit on the weekends and stuff, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm going on the weekends.
Oh, okay, so that's good.
that works out then.
All right,
and then
that's
she
good.
gets alone time with her dad.
So it honestly
that's
is
all right.
like, I don't see her a ton because I
Nice.
travel on the weekends. I usually come home Sundays, and I'm not even gonna lie to you because I never wanted kids. So when
Okay.
Brian and I had hey, are we moving forward? Are we moving in together?
yeah.
When we had that conversation, that was very much a part of it.
Yeah.
Where it was like,
He really must be good in bed. Cause
Yeah. What that dick do, Mary?
I have a joke about that, like about how good single dad dick is, because it's like
Ooh,
it
good to
can
know.
get you to just wildly accept, like, oh, another person's child with behavioral issues is going to tell me she hates me to my face. Bring it on.
You know what?
Like, let's figure this
What
out.
that dick
you
do
know?
is cool.
But she is a very, very sweet girl, and she has a ton of love to give.
Aw,
you know what I
that's
mean?
great.
It sounds crazy for her to be so small.
Corinne's like,
and so
I know what that's
little.
code for. No, but I'm like,
She
that's
does. Like,
great.
she'll come
Just
up
a
to
lot
you.
of passion.
She's
Loud voice.
She throws something
Yeah.
at your head across the
Right.
room.
Great arm.
But she'll come up and, like, if you're sitting on the couch or like say I fall asleep during a movie or something, you'll wake up and you'll have a stuffed animal and a blanket on you. Like,
Oh,
she does.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
a very
Creepy.
thoughtful.
Oh no, I love that shit. That's
Like,
so
why
cute.
are you tucking me in? What
Why is she
this?
staring at me
Is
when
there
I wake?
affection here? I hate this.
The ring happens in my living room while I was asleep. Okay.
Nah, it's cute.
Like crawling out of a TV or something.
That's really funny. Wow.
No, but it is definitely difficult. And I have never had to see what kind of a parent I would be. And then you realize, oh, we are very different parents.
Oh, right.
He's a very loving, kind, let me listen to your problems. I think it's because he grew up with money. So he didn't get, like, my parents were so distracted with being poor and not being able to pay bills. It was shut your fucking mouth. You're the
Yeah.
child. You don't
Yeah.
get a say in things.
Yep.
And
Right.
so when he's like talking to her
That's
and like,
also a
we're gonna-
generational difference too, I think. Yeah.
So it's like the first generation gentle parenting where
Yeah.
I'm trying to shut that part of my brain off and be like, just listen. Just
Right.
figure it out.
Yeah, she's not doing this to piss you off.
Right.
She doesn't know she's a child. Her little nervous system can't handle all these things
brain's
that are
not
happening
done.
to her. Yeah.
Exactly.
So has that caused fights in your relationship? Because I mean, even when I got when I adopted a dog,
Same thing. Exactly the same thing.
I think that really revealed in my relationship, like, the differences in our, parenting skills. And I was like, why are you even reviewing this? Like, I don't want kids. And I've made that clear.
Yeah.
But, anyway, but I think like you're always being watched and like graded on things in a relationship before you get married that you don't even know you're being watched and graded on. Just in case anyone is
ever since you said that, I just got real anxiety. I'm like, I gotta really be on my best behavior at all times in all situations.
I go, I didn't know that fucking the way I treat my dog is gonna be like reflect. I didn't know you were looking for like a possible mother here.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Right.
But I think a lot of
You're
men
under a microscope.
are doing that. So like,
kinda do that.
Yeah, I mean, did that cause? Did the way that you co-parent cause a rift in your relationship in any way?
Not necessarily the way, because Brian's always been like, hey, I want you to be as involved as you want to be. So if you are full blown and here for it, because his last girlfriend very much did not want to be a mom in any capacity of the term. And they were still together. She knew he had a kid. They were together for a few years.
Interesting.
And
She just didn't see the kid?
well, basically, or if they did, it was like she was not very happy about it type of thing. So the dichotomy of her and I, he bought her flowers for Mother's Day. She lost her mind. I told you I don't want to be a mother. I'm not this child's mother. Like things like that.
That would make me feel weird too.
Yeah.
That's a weird
I
move.
can understand though that he means like, thank you for, I don't know, but if she didn't even wasn't even involved with the kid, that is
feels
weird.
like giving you a right. That feels like when my boss gave me a
Forcing
BlackBerry
you.
for Christmas. Like I didn't like that.
See, now I'm the
Now I
opposite.
can email you from the cab.
Because last Mother's Day, I was very upset that he didn't acknowledge it. I was like,
because you're putting work
you
into
put a lot of
raising
work
this
in.
kid.
because I was like,
Yeah.
hey, what my sister bought me chocolate covered strawberries. It was
Right.
like, happy first Mother's Day.
Right.
And I was so mad.
And he's so thoughtful, you'd think, how do you miss this one?
So I
Surely
came
I'm gonna wake up
out-
to
He
pancakes.
made a mistake because of how his ex-girlfriend
Exactly.
reacted.
Because he's like, now what the hell?
He was
like,
scarred.
One of you didn't want, now you want that. I don't know what to do.
Men
so
think we're all the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I pulled out the chocolate covered strawberries
Yeah.
and I'm eating them. He goes, who are those from? I said, because he's not thinking.
sister.
I said, my sister. He goes, why did Lane get you chocolate covered strawberries? I was like, it's my first Mother's Day. And I grabbed him and walked out.
Yes. Yes, that's how we do.
He's like, was I supposed to get you something? I was like, I don't know. Do you feel like you should have?
Wow.
Yo, I love this.
Wow.
I love this new
I'm
relationship.
such a passive aggressive bitch.
Yeah, there's a room for
But we've talked about it this year because Mother's Day is on Sunday, and he's like, "What do you want for Mother's Day? What do you want to do?" Blah blah blah. And I was like,
Just surprise me, bitch.
"Get me some I love chocolate covered strawberries." I was like, "Get me
who
flowers
doesn't?
and chocolate covered
Delicious.
strawberries, and have the kid make me a card." That's it.
Yeah, the
I
kid-
just want acknowledgement.
Kids
Yeah, make
cards.
that bitch do something.
Yeah, make her work for
Put
once.
the stuffies away. No, I'm just kidding.
That's amazing.
But no, it is great. And it is one of those things where you talk about healthy boundaries and going from such a train wreck of a human who was like lying to myself about what I
Right.
actually wanted. And then now having these like firm boundaries in a relationship with someone who also has firm boundaries and you both know how to discuss them. It's truly
Sounds
unreal.
awesome.
It's truly unreal.
Thank you so much for regaling us with this tale of positive energy in a relationship.
Oh,
and
you can find
growth.
it. It's
That's
there.
amazing. We need more examples of that. Because I feel like we've all been in their first relationship, like or some version of it, where we're lying to ourselves about what we
yeah.
want, which is a lot of people. I think it's a very common problem.
And then I come back next year. I'm back in New York. I'm like, you guys,
I got back together with that shit
I
bag.
didn't know what to do. He said he was going through a divorce. And
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Right.
I know we're wrapping up right now, but just the last thing I want to talk about is, you told me very, like, after we went through all the things you wanted to talk about on the show, you were like, oh, and I also saw pictures of my feet. And I was like, what?
Dude,
Tell
do you
me
still do
more.
that?
yes. Well, it was just so funny because you were like, what are you, under the umbrella of relationships and sex? So I was literally just thinking about Brian. And I was like, okay, here's what my relationship is like. Here's what our sex is like. Here's what this is. And then I was like, how the fuck did I not even think of the fact that I've been slaying pictures of my feet for
Maybe
a
it doesn't
year?
feel
Like,
sexual for you.
It's
Sluttiest thing of all.
You whore.
100%.
You're a foot whore and you held it this whole time.
The fact that you use the term foot whore. So I'm on a radio show in Cleveland and there's this guy who hates me who calls in and calls me foot whore. Like 100%.
Take the power back
I love it.
and use that word for good now.
But it started as a joke. It started as radio listeners being like, Mary got cute feet. What's her feet look like? And I do have very cute feet.
Okay.
I have a
I could tell by your
4.8
facial expression that you know.
Oh, you have tiny feet.
I was gonna say I have a 4.8 rating on WikiFeet.
Oh, really? I thought you were 4.5.
I'm like,
No,
wait,
6.5.
that's a child's foot.
Oh, 6.5 is
6.5
my
is
size.
tiny.
Yeah.
6.5 foot, but like there's a WikiFeet and I have an almost perfect rating on
Nice.
WikiFeet. I got very cute feet.
I haven't looked up my rating. We should do that. We should do that later.
Check it out.
Yeah.
And so it started as a joke. And then I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to charge an exorbitant amount of money if you want pictures of my feet. And then people started paying it. And I was like,
what website you using?
I didn't. I just created an email.
Fuck, I'm gonna do that.
SantoraToes@gmail.com.
Yo,
another
baby,
joke.
we're in business.
Toes, I love it.
Another joke.
See, life goes well when you don't try that hard.
That sounds like a toe depot.
Doesn't it?
Come down to Santora Toes.
We have every toe you could ever want.
Little toes.
Right. Are you diabetic? Have you had your toes cut off?
Toes with paint on them.
One less toe.
Come down to
when the
Santa
one
Cruz.
toe bigger than the big toe.
They got stubble from when I shaved them, but it's too early to keep shaving them.
100%. That's hilarious.
How much you getting for these toe pigs?
So, okay, when I say exorbitant amount, I remind you, I live in Ohio. So, like, the first couple that I was like, I got $250 a pick.
That's a good amount of money.
So much money.
Honey.
And that was
That's more than spot pay.
I was like, I'm going to be rich. Like, this is my new, And then I quickly realized that was the few very, like, not obsessed fans, but guys who listen to the radio show who already like me, and now they know I have cute feet. So that was like a very small percentage.
Right.
Yeah.
So then after that, it like,
Toast
It's like you're giving a pack of matches to a pyro, and you're like, nah, this is good. I want to egg this on.
So it was that, and then it came down to now it's around 30 to 50 per picture. So it's
Humbling.
like it's not a little bit.
Might have the mighty have fallen.
It's not like they're $5.
What
But
are you doing in these pictures?
Nothing.
You just take a picture of your feet
It's not like
on the
it's
sand,
not
on the
like
grass.
a toe on a dick.
So here's the other thing is some guys are into that shit where they're
course.
like,
Yeah.
I need to see your feet wrapped around jerking off a dick. And I asked my boyfriend, I was like, excuse me, can I borrow your part of this? Right. Like, how do you feel about coming on my feet? And he's like, this isn't my thing. This is your thing.
God, the boundaries on this guy.
He said, I have a child, Mary.
I have a daughter.
But the funny thing is that $30 to $50 a picture might not seem like a lot, but it is knees down. These are not ass shots with my feet in them. My face isn't in it. It is knees down. So you can get some calves.
It's just a picture, not a
You can
video.
reuse them. Like, no one knows.
They don't fucking know.
100%. That's right.
They don't fucking know.
I uploaded a couple.
It's just for you, Daddy.
Oh, what color did you want?
I just took it for you.
Yeah.
But I'm not great at that. The sexy talk, I'm like, I'm not great
Well, if it's not
at
sexual
it.
for you, then you're like, this is dumb.
Here's my fucking feet. You know what I mean?
Here you go,
toe
dipshit.
master.
Here's my feet.
Well, but I also think there is a certain guy that would love, hey dipshit, here's my feet.
Yeah,
It's a whole different.
that's my market.
And here's the other thing is that by doing it via email and not on an app, these guys are very specific in the things that they ask for. So like the one guy was like, I want your feet painted purple, like your toes painted purple in a bowl of milk. And I was like, a specific kind, like a whole milk, oat milk. Like, what are we talking about?
This is fun.
Yeah.
But like, it's.
I love the art direction.
And some guys are like, this is exactly what I want.
I hope he paid more though, because like $30
Yeah, that's
if you're
curating.
getting a whole thing of milk.
Yeah, you got to
you're
buy the
getting
milk.
Yeah.
He
You
was
got
one
to
of
wash
the-
your foot afterwards.
That was like 150.
Okay.
Yeah,
I showed Brian that picture. So he also has OCD, and it's a very cleanliness thing. So I showed
the
him
guy
the
who ordered the picture, or your husband?
My boyfriend Brian.
Okay, or your
so
boyfriend.
I showed him the picture of my feet in a bowl of milk. He goes, "Why is the bowl of milk on the carpet?" That was the first thing that he said. He's like, "You couldn't have done this on the tile."
That's the main problem.
Priorities.
Right.
That's the main problem
But
here.
what the toe pictures are like kind of pivoting into with two guys because I have a couple regulars, right? And this is something I'm not trying to get rich off of. I'm not trying to do an OnlyFans. I'm not trying to make this a side hustle.
We weren't trying to make an iconic podcast when we did it, and we
you
did.
just,
So like,
look
you're
at
stumbling
what
into this new career, Mary.
happened.
Yeah.
So side hustle loosely because it's like if you're gonna seek it out, I will facilitate. But I'm not out here promoting. I'm not out
right.
here
That's
doing
the
it.
ideal.
You know. And
That's
so
ideal.
a couple of these guys are like, "Hey, how do you feel about like degrading me?" Like, I like your
Aces.
feet, but can you just send a voice note of saying these things? Or like, you know, and it's almost getting into like, another guy's like into like the financial domination
Yeah,
where he's like, I
findom.
want you to call me.
Tell me I'm a broke bitch.
Yes, you tiny pussy dick guy. I'm not good at it. See what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have a puss dick.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Your card got declined, mister.
oh, you're just so poor. But like, he's like, yeah, I just want you to be mean to me and ask for money every now and then. And I was like, this started as foot pics and now that's what he's like. So I'm like, this is, it's very fluid and weird.
Yeah.
And I kind of just, whatever you ask, as long as
for
it's
you.
not anything above the knee,
Right,
like we'll
right.
figure it out. But
Very
yeah.
ladylike. I feel like you have to like curate now an art show of all the foot pics that you've
There's
seen.
some really good ones.
idea.
Like
Great
a
idea,
comedy
yeah.
art show. I mean, come on, that's great.
Do that like a gallery.
A gallery.
Yeah.
You do stand up.
And then
would be
say how
hilarious.
much say how much people paid for the pics.
You film your special, but the background is just all
Oh,
your
my
foot
feet.
pics. Come on, this is golden.
yeah, that's really great idea. It's a
I
really great
tore
idea.
toes.
So I have
Santora's Toe Depot.
Oh God,
That
some kind
has
of an art, definitely.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
That's
dude.
incredible.
You want to see
I
my
love
toes
that
and me
idea.
call you a pussy?
Right.
Come down.
So they're in the special that I just recorded that's on YouTube, I do a bit about selling my foot pics. And
Yeah,
I
as you
mentioned,
should.
I mentioned like the email. So guys will message me and be like, hey, I saw your special on YouTube. Is this real?
Mm-hmm.
One guy was like, listen, I just want the funniest thing. He goes, put a fake mustache on your feet. I
That's
want
my
googly
dream.
eyes.
That's my
This is what I've been waiting for.
Yes.
I want this silliness, you know? And he's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to get it printed out and I hope it's not. He's like, it's funny for me. I'm not into feet. I want it to be silly.
Sure.
I know, right?
I'm
But it
doing
is
this for my
silly.
friends.
It is
Again
silly.
for the office.
Yeah. The missus' birthday's coming up.
We're going to print it out, put it on a cake, you know?
I'd be like, how funny would it be if I got a comedian's toes and I paid for the picture with googly eyes? Okay.
People are so weird.
That's great though. So it is, it's definitely weird. I felt like uncomfortable about, I was like, oh, these guys are going to be masturbating to my feet.
For your toes. It's your toes.
Well, and you know what? When
You're
I was
really
talking
vulnerable.
about it on
Yeah.
air, not selling them because it made me uncomfortable thinking about people jerking off to me, the number of men
I
who
love that.
called in and were like, I jerk it to your fully clothed Instagram stories.
Cool. Didn't ask for
I was
that.
like-
They made it worse.
Oh, you're
Leave it to
uncomfortable
men.
with that? Let me make you more uncomfortable
Yeah.
with this thing I've been doing towards you this whole
Yeah.
time.
I was like, no, you don't. And the one guy's like, yeah, you're the background on my phone. And I was like,
Oh,
get the
Christ.
hell out of here. And I was like, that's what set it off.
That's
And
an
I was
inside
like,
thought.
right. But I was also
It's
like,
happening anyway, so just make money off
if
of
you're
it.
going to do it anyway
Yeah.
and it's knee down, screw it.
Right.
Whatever. You
Well,
know?
this is wow.
Damn.
Yeah, we have to wrap up.
We covered a lot of ground.
We covered so much ground. I loved your story. That was a true this is what a Disney movie should be about.
I know. I
She
should get a
was
cape.
fucking wasted, crashing into people, dating a piece of shit, and then she met someone nice. She got sober,
I would
met
love
somebody
to watch
nice.
that one.
That's the Disney princess that I'm rooting for. You know.
Yes, alcoholic Cinderella.
Yeah, yeah.
With a
What would
glass
you like?
slipper.
What would you like to promote? Where can we find more of you? If you want to share the email, you can. But if not,
The special,
whenever.
yeah.
Your special.
So you can follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Mary Santora Comedy. And then I also have Facebook. I just released a special on YouTube called Nothing Matters. And then, I'm anywhere you can find music or comedy or wherever. I'm on all of that. And then the radio show in Cleveland is called The Ellen Cox Show. So it's like we do 4.5 hours of terrestrial radio a day. So it is like a real long podcast. We cover everything from current events to, whatever. It's
I like that you just explained radio. Mike's from the radio world, so we have to explain radio a lot. We go, it's like a
Yeah.
podcast, but
when people ask me that, they're like, so you do like a 4.5 hour podcast? I'm like, no, I do radio.
Yeah.
Like this
The
one
original
came first.
podcast.
This is live every
Yeah.
day. No editing. You just got to go in and hope
Yeah.
you don't curse. Yeah.
oh my God. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
great.
This has been Guys We Fcked, the anti-slut shaming podcast. We'll talk to you next Friday. Bye. Oh my God.
That was so